Hello and welcome to episode 164 of Naija's Geeking Out, your favorite Naija podcast with a comic book twist. That's wrong. It's actually your favorite comic book podcast with a Naija twist. Thank you for joining us. This is the penultimate episode of the year 2023. We've got a full house today and a special returning guest. Olu, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good. It's nice to
Thank you for
always
joining
be
us.
with you guys on the podcast. So yeah, it's great, great,
Awesome.
great, great to
Yeah,
be
you
here.
you you are one of the people that made our year special. So thank you for joining us and helping us slowly sign off
Yep,
for the
my
year.
pleasure. My pleasure. My
And
pleasure.
as usual, regular as always, Red, how you doing?
Regular, showing them how to do it for the year 23. We're going to be regular till the year runs out.
That one, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I think we should start taking attendance for the year. We will see who are the real regulars. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Give me my prize. Give me my win. Ahead of time.
I'm full up on turkey and rice, so I'm good. I'm good.
And all the other good stuff. Well,
Yes.
we've got Tunde on the line, but Tunde is in transit at the moment. He is coming from God knows where, but he's heading to somewhere he can get stable internet and join us. And so Tunde's on the line, but he's not going to be able to say anything.
He's just today's all up on the double D's.
Woo! Today, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Let's get to where you can talk.
Double D could mean anything.
It could mean anything. It could mean anything.
I mean, what meaning is, for those who don't know, December in Nigeria is called Dirty December. I'll let your imagination tell you what happens during that month. And just by pure coincidence, our fellow podcaster today decided to go to Nigeria for that same month.
You know what? I have heard that Ghanaians are quite dirty too when it comes to December. Like they don't take it easy. Like they party in the mornings.
Okay.
Like it's not from like
I think I wait for it.
I heard about that.
they're quite dirty.
Tell us more, Cakes.
Now wait till I hear, but yeah, thank you so much for joining us, guys. So we promised last week that we were going to talk about the latest and the very last offering in the DCEU. I'm talking about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So this dropped on the 23rd, something like that, 22nd of December. Yeah, 22nd of December.
Right,
we said we were going to watch this and give you a review as always, give you our rating, and tell you whether or not to catch this one. Bittersweet moment, right? The bittersweet. It's the end. It's the end of.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Come on. Let's be honest. Are you all going to say that you felt nothing watching this film?
I felt nothing.
Wow.
Watching the film.
I mean, like even like from a comic book like POV, like
No.
yeah.
To me, it's sweet. It's ending, and something that I think is going to be better is going to start. So to me, I had no feelings for this personally.
Okay, fair enough. I was more like the hopes and dreams that we had for the DCEU. Anyway, let's not. I don't want to dive right into it yet, but guys, one of the things that we've promised is to do a retrospective of the DCEU next week on our next podcast, where we will talk about all 16 movies of the DCEU, and then we'll kind of grade the whole slate and talk
individually
about
and overall slate. Okay.
Overall, yes. So it's almost kind of what went wrong, what went right, what should we keep doing, what should James Gunn not do, lessons learned of the DCEU. So listen out for episode 165, and then we're going to do that. But today we are just going to be talking about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and then we're going to be talking about the latest offering in the MCU, which is What If Season 2.
Yep.
Right. Let's dive right in. Olu, did you get a chance to watch Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
Yes. I watched it on Thursday. I think that was the
22nd. That's the day. That's the year.
Yeah.
You were the first to see it. I mean,
Yeah. So as it came out, I just went to watch it because I just felt like I already promised myself at the beginning of the year that, even though I knew that the DCU was ending, but just for James Wan, I was gonna go watch Aquaman. So I went to watch it. The hall wasn't
Are
full.
you a big James Wan fan?
James, I mean, I like his thought process, especially how I believe he's like a good what's that word? He's a good visualist, a VFX guy. He paints very nice pictures. So I just like that about him. So,
Okay, fair enough.
and also because of the movie itself has gone through so much changes, and I think I
Yeah,
listened to an
yeah.
interview when he said the movie has taken a lot of his life. Just for that one statement, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go watch this movie just for that
Yeah,
because honestly,
that's what
I
me.
was always saying it that I'm only going to watch the movie for James Wan. I really didn't
Yeah,
care. I could have waited till it
yeah,
got on Max and nothing would
yeah,
change. You
yeah.
know, I went to watch it in unfortunately there's no IMAX in my city. But they have this thing Evo has this thing called EVX. So it's like
Mhm.
IMAX, but for like that particular cinema line
Yeah,
Evo,
yeah.
there's this EVX.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
Okay,
there's
so
the
yeah.
you saw your
EVX.
IMAX.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So I
No, no,
went
no,
to
don't dive too. How was the cinema hall? Was it full? Was it actually full? Was
approximately
it
we were
partly
12
empty?
people or 12.
Ah,
One,
that's
one,
good.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 2 12. I literally have those numbers because where I sat, I was at the back typically. I just sit down at the last row. Looking down, we're just
Yeah,
12 and it was myself, couple, 12. That was it.
That's
yeah,
four.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're like
It's
this
Wow.
not.
5 rows in front of me, nobody. It was people sat down in the middle because at least it's still it
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
12 people.
Red, did you watch this one? Did you see it? Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Red. You
No,
watch it?
not yet. No, not yet. No,
Okay,
I
okay.
I couldn't I
Let me
couldn't
tell
get
you
away.
something.
Yeah.
You're not yet means you're not gonna. Yeah, I know you're red. You're not red.
No,
But eventually,
I plan on seeing it.
at the
So
cinema.
well, this week I had somebody come
Okay,
into town. I actually have a
okay,
guest right now, so it's been
okay, okay,
crazy.
okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, that's good. I mean, put some money there.
I will.
That one. Did you see this one?
Yes, I did. I went.
How's your cinema? How's your theater?
We
Full.
had about 30 people,
Okay.
and I can confirm that 10 of them were screen surfing.
Okay.
Uh,
So
uh,
moving from one
yeah, yeah. So
viewing
they
to another viewing.
and halfway through they had to leave because there was a little altercation in the cinema as well.
Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. So it was. Yeah, it's about. So let's say 30. I'll count them because at least even if there was
Okay.
they decided to pick that to watch. So
Yeah.
there's about
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
it was their big. It was they used it was their biggest screen. So it kind of made it look a bit more obvious that there wasn't that many
Yeah.
people.
Did you go alone or did you go with
I went alone.
you know,
I kind of said to my guys, "Oh, I'm going to watch Aquaman," and
and
there was a
nobody
very
put their hands
distinct lack of interest, and even me did not even have any inkling to like even urge them. I unlike Oluwole, I decided I'm not going to plunk down for IMAX.
IMAX.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I paid. I went to my cheapest local cinema. I
Okay.
went for the best seats in there, so an extra £2 on top,
Okay.
just to be fair to to the
To
film.
James Bond.
Yeah, yes, one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I saw it on Thursday as well. And I think my
okay,
my cinema hall, well, to be fair, I didn't watch the first viewing. So I watched one of the late ones, maybe about
okay,
7 o'clock, there about 7 p.m. There were maybe 10 people in the hall I sat in.
Even
Not a lot
worse.
of people at all. Yeah, it was distinctly bare. I don't even think I sat in my seat. I think I sat in someone else's, or because I was like, okay, this one is better and it's free. It's
yeah,
sat in front. Yeah, so it just feels like really across the board, there wasn't a lot of excitement for this because even in terms of what's that thing called? Like the advertising, the
yeah,
publicity for
The
this,
marketing.
very muted.
yeah.
Or is it just me? Like this was very. How was it in the States, guys? Like Red Olu,
Oh,
how was the buzz for this?
I'm
There
about
was
to say
there
something.
was some buzz, but
Okay.
not typical to what we're used to.
Like yeah, like anything on telly, anything on
Oh, definitely,
buses, anything on.
I mean,
definitely stuff on telly,
Okay, okay, okay,
not on,
okay.
but the typical merchandising you'll see in stores and things like that. I can't
Yes,
remember,
zilch. Yeah,
especially for Christmas period. I don't
Exactly.
remember seeing that. I don't remember seeing anything like that.
I mean, honestly, the only place I saw an ad for it was in the restroom of the cinema.
Jesus.
I think I think I didn't see much of it on buses. There's a lot of Wonka going on. Like, okay, that seems to be like the big thing, but no, like you said, no merchandising, no toys, no tie-ins, no, buy a McDonald's and you get an Aquaman something. None of that.
All
Okay.
my boss was from social media.
Yeah.
Like the accounts, YouTube accounts
Yeah.
of Warner. I don't remember seeing anything else.
Yeah, they didn't put a lot of money behind this one. I just think, you know, if thinking about it, there's a lot we can blame the strike. I just feel like even with the strike didn't help, yes, but even when you looked at the opening, the premiere,
Yeah.
it was just basic. That's
It
what
was
everyone
basic,
on Twitter was just saying, that it was just Momoa and Juan. Nobody else was there.
Yeah.
Patrick wasn't there. Obviously, somebody that we were not going to mention was not there, and it was just both of them and nothing. So I feel they just didn't put their money there and just said, you know what?
Yeah.
Time
Just push this ship out and just let it sink.
To highlight that, actually, I just remembered something that I was going to talk about, and it falls into this what we're discussing about the marketing. The one market I saw that, and it took me aback because I found what for a movie this size, this is who you got. Kami and Jason Momoa, and they couldn't even bother to spend money on it. You know who Kami is, right?
No, who's Kami?
You've seen him before. The guy who does this, the black guy.
Oh, the Senegalese guy.
Yeah.
The guy on TikTok.
Yeah. He and Jason Momoa only did their thing.
Oh, I've not seen that
on social media, and it was. I was thinking, is this Aquaman rated? And then in the end, you realize it is, and I thought, oh wow, this is a bit lame.
That is probably like as cheap as you can go.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
Because Kami says nothing, you pay him some money, he puts it on his TikTok, and you can just say, okay, we did something.
I think the way for the cheapest, how much can we spend the least and get the most audience? Yeah.
Wow, really. Okay, let's talk about the movie itself. So, Aquaman 2 picks up where from the end of the first one, Arthur is king now. I think it's a few months at the very least later, maybe a year later, because he's got a son now. Lo and behold, he's got a little boy, Arthur Jr., who's living on land with him and his father. Mira is living on land as well as his wife/partner. They're living with his dad in the lighthouse. So he's having to balance his role as a king. And I don't know, what does he do on land? So this is what he's saying. He has to balance his duties being a father and being a king.
Stay at home, dad.
Okay, stay at home. But Red, he could do this underwater because I'm pretty certain his child can breathe.
But I want him to have the experience, right? Live like a
okay, he wanted his child to be a child of.
I don't know. I've not seen
it. You're processing some logical. I just found it weird that.
He won't be able to ride his bike if he's living underwater throughout. He won't be able to be an underwater seahorse. No, but it's not a bike. He won't be able to relate to the masculine. What's the word for this again? The vibration. He won't be able to give that.
Or maybe the VFX for the baby underwater was going to cost a lot.
So that's what they. Okay, well, fair enough.
No, but,
okay,
at this point, what Red said makes sense. I think he said in the beginning of the movie or some points that he wants the child to be a child of land and sea as well.
Land and sea,
like his father. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the child was a child of the land, not the sea. They raised it purely on land. I felt it was a false narrative just to show to show the contrast between
show the struggle. Yeah,
him as a king in Atlantic. What did I say? Atlantic in Atlantis, and him almost as a commoner on land. They wanted that comparison, but they didn't. But to try too hard to explain why anybody would do that logically.
Okay, wait, one more thing though. Just trying to make sense of the nonsense they did in this film. Um, the the Aquaman discovers his child can use his powers for the first time in the movie in the
Yes,
beginning.
yes.
Yes.
So maybe he didn't think the child could breathe underwater. He thought the child was fully land for whatever reason. I'm just trying to add some logic to
Okay,
it.
okay. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is, I see your point today, but it's just highly unlikely that Mira, being almost a full underwater
Person.
person, and he being able to do both, he would think that, the less likely option would be that the child is a child of land only. It's quite reasonable that the child can live and breathe underwater, but
I mean, there was a shot. I think when they were doing like in the beginning, they showed. I think
having the child in the
on
sea,
yeah. I mean, no,
on
at
the
least it was
beach,
on like
like
on the
the
shore.
proof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
probably that was kind of
Yeah, I mean, kids, they breathe water for the first sort of few
Well,
months of
yeah,
their
to be
life.
honest,
yeah.
funny enough, yeah, they do, yeah.
Okay, so moving on from that, he's balancing his life as a king and a rebel on land. Um, the movie sees a lot of returning characters. We see Mira come back. Black Manta is a returning villain. Dr. Shin is back. Dolph Lundgren's character is back, right? The king.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, yes, yes,
Um,
yes, 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 yes.
yeah, Volko is not back, who was played by William Dafoe. We're led to believe that he died of a plague of some sort. But yeah, so uh, in this movie, what there's a returning villain, but a new narrative to that villain. So Black Manta in this one, he discovers a trident, a dark trident, which gives him certain powers and also like even like the personality of an old dead threat. Uh,
Yep.
yeah, it felt very, very, very Lord of the Rings to me. It was almost like it was very derivative of Sauron. So essentially, what happens is Black Manta is when he gets this when he puts the trident together, the dark trident together, he's almost taken over by the spirit of this old
God.
king, old Atlantean king of one of the cities of underwater or something, a city where the man had, I don't know, traded his people and turned them into zombies or something.
One
It
of
was a
one of the
rather,
one of the kingdoms.
yeah,
Yes,
one
one
of
of
the
the seven
kingdoms,
kingdoms.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yes.
one of
one of
the
the
kingdoms.
seven kingdoms, yes, convoluted and I think a bit contrived and not necessary. I don't know. What did you guys think about the threat in this? I'm
I
talking
mean,
about the.
before I say anything, at least it wasn't 1,000 kings. It was just seven kingdoms. So
Anyway, oh, he was not the king of 1,000 years, 1,000 generations.
yeah.
I, what was your
I
vibe
did
on
not
this?
like it. I did not like it at all. Because for one thing, it brought down the threat that was Manta.
Black
They
Panther.
removed this agency, yeah,
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 from him
yeah.
and focusing on someone unknown. So we get less of Black Manta's revenge and more of Black Manta being controlled by some random guy we do not care about.
some
Like
random guy who,
he,
guys, I mean, he looked exactly like Sauron did, with the
Yeah,
long
yeah.
hair, a lot of green, like fire, green powers. I was like, man, this looks like this is so. Yeah, I don't know, or just
My
unoriginal. Sorry, I said you today.
so can't go on today.
Today you were saying, yeah,
no, no, no.
agency. Okay, that was it. Okay,
Okay.
That was
I
basically it, yeah.
I kind of agree with Tunde, and I actually was kind of confused by the choice to remove his agency. This guy's already got a beef. You don't need to remove his agency. And let's say you wanted to add an extra act to, so an extra agency to his threat, another in a level to his threat. You could have done it in a way where he's not been taken over almost mentally by this guy. You could have made him team up with him at least.
partners.
I just
Yeah,
yeah, I just found it a bit strange that they went that route. It just wasn't needed in my view. But it didn't. Don't get me wrong. It didn't take much
it
away from
did
me.
it smooth it for you. Yeah,
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 I mean, I was not. That was not the part I was invested in when I was watching
yeah,
this film. Anyway,
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
okay, generic threat A, generic threat B, fine. Okay, let's go.
Let's move.
Um, yeah. I think for me, I was just thinking about it right now. I think and I don't know. I don't know if you guys thought about this. I believe the threat of that particular king was meant to be what one's trench movie was going to be about. If you think about it,
Oh yeah.
that whole, I mean, we'll go into this later, the whole underwater kingdom thing, I feel that's what one was trying to do in when he wanted to make the
The trench movie.
trench movie.
Yeah.
On and I'm thinking about it now, if we had gotten that movie before Aquaman,
It would have made
it
a little more
it
sense.
would have made a little more sense.
Yeah.
Because now we are just seeing forbidden. There was no alluding, no
Yeah.
spoilers. Like it just came. If we had the trench movie, that would have been okay. This is what this is. Then going into Aquaman, it gives a little bit more, like
Yeah.
more weight
We
to
didn't
it.
know anything about these seven kingdoms in the first one. We didn't know anything about this lost kingdom. We didn't know anything about this king who threatened eons ago. And it was just, and then they introduced, then going on, they introduced a new power source as well in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, Oraculum.
Oh yeah.
I mean, my own thing is at the beginning of the movie, we see David Kane searching for what? Is he searching for Atlantis or Atlantean tech? We don't even know what he's searching for. You're looking for Atlantis. How did he even know about that? That's another thing.
He was searching for
searching
because he had the helmets and
technology.
I think him and Shin had come to the conclusion that they needed that source to make it work or some. So I think that's what they said in the beginning. If my memory serves me right. If my memory serves me right.
No, that's you're right. You're looking for something to help them repair the helmets.
Because
so that was the goal of
I know it feels very patch, but I think it was Shin was supposed to help. Yeah, Shin was helping track, whether they were armories, Atlantean armories, or stockpiles or something. And then that's how they came across, the trident and whatnot. And, they took it, they just kind of ran from there. Yeah, I just think it was just a lot to introduce in this one that you hadn't set up before. This new power source that, although you use it, it's extremely volatile and it causes, rapid global warming. Is that right? Like it kind of poisons the air somehow, and it causes, and at the same time, it causes global warming on in air, and it causes the plague underwater, right?
So mutates the local fauna.
He's just like, bro.
I don't know why you kept complaining. If you go to Tesco, they do 3 for 1. 2 for 1. You are getting a 3 for 1 deal.
A 3 for 1.
Yes, as a Nigerian, we're used to go to buses, and we also see guys saying, "Bubushi." This is just
you stew, put honey, put sugar inside. I'm like, this is a bit much.
No, Tex, they wanted to make a threat that would affect both the surface and the underwater together. If they did just global warming, the underwater people will not care. They're happy. It's not going to affect them. Yeah, so they added the plague effects to make them be involved and feel threatened as well.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. So Arthur Curry in this one, what's his name? What's Jason Momoa? What was your take on his character? More of the same from the first. Any maturing? Did it grate on you? Did you like how he carried himself as the new? He was a rebel before, now he's a king. So how did that work for you?
Well, let me go first.
Yeah, go.
And I'll put some. Let me put some background on how I like the first one.
Okay.
I thought the plot itself was meh, generally. My main enjoyment for the first movie was the visuals. I thought the visuals were well done. There was some costuming that I really liked in the first one. So that was more. I've never really been a big fan of Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I'm not saying he's bad at what he did. It was just, for me, it just left me not cold, not warm. I thought in this one it was more of the same. Personally, he was playing this bored king. I thought it was a bit tired, a tired trope of the bored king, but kind of in a way it just suits what they've established about him as a character anyway. So for me, it didn't do much for me. And later when I talk about him being Aquaman, I'm now missing in the way he was portrayed in this film, gave me a kind of a revelation in my mind about
Yes.
if it was
Yes.
me, what I would have done.
I agree. And I thought where you're going is where the movie would end.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
I
okay.
thought, yeah, that's what I thought. But we'll circle back to that. Today, what was your take then? Did you think Jason Momoa's Aquaman was still good,
No,
fine
so
enough?
I didn't mind his Aquaman in part one. He's this boisterous, fun guy.
Yes.
But here, it became very annoying to me. Seeing this useless idiot feel upwards and become king by virtue of birthright, and still remain a useless idiot that doesn't want the responsibility of leading. Like, it's very annoying to me that you are responsible for the entire decisions of the entire country, and you don't seem to give a shit about it, and you are willing to break. Like, I've passed the age where a king or someone in a position of authority breaking the law to satisfy his own pursuit of morality seems cool to me. It's just very annoying whenever I see that trope in movies or TV. So his entire character, the way he takes things lightly, I really struggled with. I really struggled with it.
I
and
liked
then
him
he tried.
Please go on.
And there was a part where he tried to play it off as, I deal with emotions by laughing, and I'm saying no, it doesn't come across that way. You don't need to tell me. You would have seen it in the movie if it was like that. But no, it wasn't. I didn't like the character at all.
I agree with you today. It didn't quite work for me because the first one, the lovable rogue thing, it worked because that was the kind of personality he had. He was a rebel, Guinness drinking, hard partying, hard fighting guy. In this second one, as a king, I would have expected him to start to put on that kingly garb and behave in a little more, stately manner. You are representing these people. They've trusted you to take care of them. And that doesn't mean like you bugger off and you go off, you go to, you go on land, you ride your bike. I thought that's a bit ridiculous. If there's something, and you have Mira beside you to support you, and you have like
sounds irresponsible the way you explain
it. Extremely. It didn't feel like we didn't see any statesmanship at all from him. We didn't see anywhere where maybe he was representing Atlantis to go do something, or even anything with the people.
Statesmanship. I want you to put a pin in that word statesmanship and remember the ending of this film.
Yes.
Oh God, that speech was that speech was vexing. Like, I was pissed. Like, I'd already survived the entire movie. I was okay, by ending it, it's over, and then it just blew up my temper. That's like, oh no, I am Aquaman. Please get the fuck.
I think this was the weekend of speeches. If you know what we are talking
about.
Oh
God.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
Oluwole is trying to trigger us.
Can we focus on the comic related content that we're talking about here? This is a comic book podcast.
Oh God.
Okay. So moving from the plot, which it feels like, ham-fisted is to put it lightly. But what are your thoughts? Okay, maybe the action then. How did the action of this sequel? How did it hit you? Did you think it was? I for what? Can I go first?
Okay, yeah, go on.
I really enjoyed the action of this one, and I loved the first movie. I bought it on Blu-ray. I love it very much. This second one, I was hoping to go in and enjoy it as well. Plot aside, I thought the action was very well done. The way they fight here in this movie with tridents, it looks really cool. I liked where he fought with Manta, where I just like the action of this. There's an underwater sequence where Manta goes in his submarine. They go to Atlantis. Okay, also, there's something I need to say first off. This film is very badly edited in some parts. So they're doing something somewhere and then it kind of chops and then something else happens and there. So there's a bit where they go in, Black Manta and his crew go in it feels like they break into Atlantis
the vault.
steal the vault, to steal some oraculum. And then after that, they go from the vault area to where, like, the general city where everyone is, and there was no transition as to how that happened. It was very, very weird how, because at first I thought they were breaking into like an abandoned stockpile, like, like maybe breaking into somewhere where there's radioactive material, but next minute they're in the city proper, and I'm like, okay, how did you get from Area 51 to into Las Vegas? This doesn't correlate. So I think there's some, in order to get it down to this, 2 hours and 4 minutes, I think there's some stuff that's been chopped, and I know there have been some reshoots. So it's definitely impacting this movie. But yeah, so there's a sequence where they're in the submarine, they are in Atlantis, and then Nicole Kidman's character is swimming, and she like holds on to something moving really fast. Like that whole action bit, she does her thing, she gets blasted away. Mira does her thing. I'm like, okay, this is really, really, really good looking action. I said, this is really cool. I like the action of this movie. What did you guys think about? Did you think it was good, not great, could have been better? Today, your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed the action of this movie. The highlight for me was the trident fight between
Black Panther.
Manta and
Yes,
yeah,
that
at
was
the
cool.
end, like
Yes,
that
yes.
sequence,
That
it felt a bit too short, and the way they
it was
wrapped
short.
it
No,
up annoyed me.
it didn't feel short. It was like 12 seconds.
Yeah, it was too short. It was
Yeah,
too short, but it was, for what we saw, it was really, really good.
yeah,
Yeah, the action level, I don't think I had a problem with it. I wish I saw more of that,
yes,
a lot
yes,
more of that
yes,
than we
yes,
saw.
yes.
Yeah, but yeah, on action, I think James Wan, it's not, apart from those sequences, it wasn't something I would like put now God tier that I will remember, but it
Yeah,
was very good. It
yeah,
was very fun to watch,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Olu, what were your thoughts on the action
I
sequences?
mean, yeah, I mean the action was pretty good. I think
Yeah.
there's a part I liked. The part I liked was when they went into that gambling den or the Pirates Cove,
Yes, yes, yes.
and almost trying to negotiate and be like, okay, this is da. And then
Yeah,
Mama was like,
yeah,
oh, blah, blah, blah. And I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
okay,
I'm
you
a
can
king,
flex your
whatever.
I'm making blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Then when he saw that things were getting out of hand, it was not like, okay, you can flex your muscles. And next thing, he just busts
Yeah,
off the restraints and launches everybody. That whole, it was
yeah,
chaotic, but it was nice.
yeah.
At least what I like is that they didn't repress
Jason
Aquaman's
Momoa,
strength.
Aquaman
Yeah, and
strength.
they make
Yeah,
him feel so feeble, like, oh,
yeah,
they chained me down. I can't go
yeah,
anywhere. It
yeah,
was he let loose and he went at it, and it
yeah,
like you could see. Another thing I liked was that even when they were on land, especially in the
yes,
action scenes, the
yeah.
strength did not. There was the variance between what they could tank and what they could dish
Oh, they
out
couldn't.
was not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, was not different.
And Aquaman was clearly stronger than Orm. Like Arthur was much stronger than his
Yeah,
brother.
Yep.
yeah, definitely,
Yeah, and I
definitely.
love
Yep.
that.
And okay, one more thing I'll say about the action. I missed this sequence from part one. I hoped we'll get something similar in part two. If you
Right.
remember in part one, when the mom was running away from the soldiers, they attacked the mom,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That was on
and
Earth,
there
right?
was that
On Earth?
rooftop. What? Yes,
Oh, the
that
rooftop
rooftop
sequence.
sequence.
Yes,
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 I was hoping we
yeah,
get something similar in part two, but
yeah,
no. But I really, yeah, I really wanted something like that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
overall, I think this was a fun, like the action. I don't have any complaints. Any
Yeah, I don't have any
complaints?
issues with it. Yeah, even the bit where Orm gets when Orm breaks out across the desert, gets into the sea,
Mhm.
and then that whole I don't have any problem with the action in this. I quite liked it. But what did you think about the action?
Oh, I'm happy with it. It was the second aspect of the film that I made me enjoy it. It to me it was a action romp,
Yeah,
and I've been comparing it to Indiana Jones, like the first few Indiana Jones movies, and that's a vibe I enjoyed it. I had no qualms
yeah,
with
same.
what was given. I
And
mean, I don't like the whole mystical Atlantis god type thing aspect to it, but apart from that, I was fine with the action. I know.
there's a bit where they go to that island, the Oraculum Island or whatever that had been
Yep.
polluted,
Mm,
and the bad guys, the pirates, basically,
mm,
the Mantis guys, they're in those machines and trying to like fight. They're fighting Orm
mm.
and Arthur. There, do you remember? where those machines that look like squids that have like
No, I know that thing. Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. Aquaman is clearly much stronger than his brother, even though his brother is really strong as well.
Yeah.
And then when Manta like fires his eye beams and basically burns Orm, I was like, man, this.
Okay, sorry. You put one bit that I did not like.
Okay,
and this is a nitpick.
Yeah.
The stats he does, and I know this is a podcast. It starts where it goes like that, and then he fires the beam. I find that very generic. Do you know what I'm saying? Where he stretches his arms back.
Yeah, but that's what Cyclops does. That's like eye beams. That's like I have eye beams that are blasting through my eyes.
Yeah, but I'm thinking to myself, hang on, if you're eye beam, why do you have to flex your soldiers at your back to blast it?
Yeah.
This is mechanical. Why are you doing this? It's a mechanical design. So it's a nitpick, but everybody
it is.
It kind of
everybody
like
does it.
They're Ronaldo fans.
Yeah.
But Cyclops does it. Superman does it. I mean, everyone does it who blasts things from their face.
Someone doesn't do that all. Someone just his eyes goes and it comes out. He doesn't do it.
Okay, okay, fair enough. But I like how they not overpowered Black Manta, like how they like stepped his power levels up as well in this one. Like the beams are much more powerful. Like even his suits, the way he uses the rocket boost, while fighting.
I actually like that. Yeah, I
that was good.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it was good. There were some bits I didn't like. I want to talk about something I didn't like, which was the costumes of this one. They felt.
Sorry, before you go there, about Manta being powered up, I really liked when he points out after Aquaman told him, "This guy is stronger than you." Like that sequence, I laughed out loud in that particular moment.
Yes. Or was you feeling like Ocean Master now?
and not being funny, that scene and the as Oluwole said that, and you both said the power levels. Aquaman is stronger, almost still stronger than humans. They've given Black Panther a boost to cope. It reminds me one of the things that used to annoy me a lot about Loki, where you'd have Black Widow fighting Loki physically and punching him and he's hurting him. This is a guy that can fight with Thor. Can fight with I always used to annoy me because you never know with Loki whether he's human level or he's god level in terms of physical abilities.
Loki is one that has been extremely depowered. Like electricity, you are hitting him with like stun batons, and he's like, I'm like, okay, so this guy is clearly not a god anymore, or what's going on here?
Let's not talk about that show.
The level of vulnerability was like,
apologies for bringing that in, but you just I thought they got that right. They got this right in Aquaman compared to what they've done in Loki. Yeah, but
and all would have been like, this is my boy now. This is someone I hired to do something before now. I mean, he got that punch and he was like,
You're past yourself.
You've been out of the game for too long.
I didn't like the costumes in this one. I felt the Aquaman Gold costume was too muscly. It was too like some parts he looked like a clown. Like the muscles were like super big. Like this,
it was super bright.
It was much bright.
It
felt just different from the first time. The gloves, the green thing on the gloves, the Batman green things were just like awkward.
Yeah, when you see Arthur sit down underwater on the throne.
Yes.
Oh my lord!
Yes.
I was like, oh no.
His body looked big and his head looked small. I'm like,
whatever this is, stop it.
Then I don't get it.
I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I feel like Orm's costume looked more Aquaman.
Yes.
Than Arthur's costume.
You know what?
He had the thing. He had the belt.
Let me even say this now. To me, Orm looks like. I mean, this is the point I've been trying to postpone to talk about later. But Orm looked like Aquaman from the comics. He looked like Otto Curry, the comic Otto Curry.
Yeah, boss cut.
So much more
with the blonde hair, right?
Yeah, it was slapping me in the face constantly in the movie. That see my Otokori here now. Who is this Lobo acting Aquaman type next to him? It was so obvious for me now that this. He looked like Aquaman.
I missed it, and now that you mentioned it,
okay.
Now that you mentioned it, I was just like looking at him like, oh, from the first movie, but true. Yeah. Like he has the bearing, he has the hair color, he has the hair style.
And
Oluwole said he had Aquaman, the Aquaman
on the belt.
On the belt.
Yeah.
It is foreshadowing.
True. And I don't want to skip ahead, but I'll touch on it at its time. Yeah, so even the costume of the pirates sometimes looked a bit weird and not fitting. I don't know. Oh, sorry.
I think maybe they changed costumiers. I don't know why.
I think so, or they there is if they are making the costume, they're making the costume, they're going to take time to fit everyone, into their costumes to make sure that it fits properly, and that time takes money. And if it's a movie that they know is not going to make a great deal of, they're like, just you don't need to just wear costume A. Let him just wear it like that. It doesn't matter. We'll breeze over it. So little things like that, you can tell that at some point there was a spirit of lackadaisical kind of this thing that had started to permeate. Like, this isn't going to go anywhere. Sorry.
No, what I was going to say is that the 2 wristwatches, maybe that's what took their budget.
So there were 2 IWC watches. Oh, sorry. Okay. So in costuming. So Dr. Shin is wearing a blue wristwatch. Sorry, guys, if you don't like wristwatches, but this was so very obvious. So Dr. Shin was wearing a blue watch with a glowing blue face, and Black Manta was wearing one with a red face. These watches are IWC watches that were made for the movie, and I thought they were some of the most beautiful timepieces I've ever seen. Like they did a close up when I think Black Manta checked the time. I was like, oh my god! And most of the movie, like the watches were glowing, like there was luminous dials and stuff like that. Really cool.
I totally did not.
Let me see it.
You're not a watch person, are you?
Oh, well, clearly. I totally missed this.
I
open my mouth. I probably thought they were like sci-fi type watches.
Oh
no.
Those watches are so good.
Today, did you?
No, I actually did not notice the watch.
Okay. Literally the same watch, but Dr. Shin had the blue one and Black Manta had the red one.
Okay, so to show my ignorance, is IWC a top brand?
Oh, I've seen the watch now. I've seen the watch now online. I remember this watch. It looks really good. I thought I thought it was a sci-fi watch. I didn't know it was an original.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
it is. It's really. It looks really good. Really, really beautiful.
So I was like, I need to find out more about this. So they only made 20. Sorry, guys. Let's just deviate a little bit. They only made 25 of these, and they cost 50,000 Swiss francs if you want to buy them. But
okay, I don't like to watch again.
I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous stuff. But it's a tie-in with IWC Schaffhausen. So if you have somebody to spare, try to find them. There's only 25 of each. But yeah, moving on from the costumes, the CG of this movie too. I felt the CG could have done with some work, particularly underwater, where they're not moving. So where they're standing, or swimming or floating on the water, the hair. I can't put my finger on it, but it wasn't as good as the first one. And the first one for me was
really.
I have a comment on this one.
Okay,
and there are 2 reasons. One, underwater scenes now, if you notice, they are no longer floating; they are standing. In part 1, they use wires a lot for them. For the so they mimic the floating thing. Here, they are either standing or sitting underwater, so it doesn't give that effect.
Same feeling of
yes. Then the second reason is Way of Water just came out last year. So people are still comparing that to this, and exactly.
I mean, where Arthur is sitting down, it looks so bad.
It was bad. Oh, apart from even from the water, I don't know if you noticed this, Kex. When at the ending scene, when Momo was giving the speech, if you look at one half of his face,
that was bad. That was bad.
It was bad. One half of his face was like dark, like it felt like he had a black eye. It was dark, like
the CG in that scene. Oh my god, I was shocked. Like, what was going on?
Like, what is this?
It was terrible.
It literally felt like everyone had gone home, and then they called him to put on the costume at home, stand in front of a green screen, and
they didn't finish the makeup. Yeah, they didn't finish the makeup.
I didn't understand that. That was it was a very poor. It probably took away a point from the whole movie towards the end where they did that. It wasn't good at all. Yeah. So last piece something that I wanted to bring up was Our Lady Mera, Amber Heard. Now, Amber Heard, so I found out online that apparently Amber Heard was in this movie for less than 30 minutes. But I genuinely thought that she was in it for a reasonable amount of time. Now, but you didn't agree. You said that you felt that she was undercut in the movie. But I felt she was in it a really good amount of time.
So so when I was going in, I felt she'd be very, 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 very minimal. That was my first initial.
Okay.
But when I saw the storyline, I thought, okay, she's in it, and I thought she was just in it enough to carry off the storyline, but not more than that. Because I felt that there were more scenes she should have been in, or she could have been in.
There are lots of things she could have said, she could have done, that for some reason she's not doing them.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was very weird.
No, but the thing is, the movie is really about Arthur and Orm. So
I'm going to say something here about that text.
Yeah.
And this is my brain theory about this.
Okay.
The reshoots were to replace Amber with Orm.
Yes, I agree.
That's my idea on the reshoot. Like, it's just to replace Amber with Orm. Because I noticed when I thought about it and I started watching the film, I noticed that you would see several scenes where Orm, Amber, and Otto were shot all separately. Like, any scene you see three of them together, you never see them together in one scene. And when you look at the plot, the rescuing of the child and all of that, why is Otto sending Amber away? Why is Amber not visibly angry about it?
Point. I said to you.
Why is Amber not more visibly invested in this particular journey? What's going on here? Like that final battle, there was a scene where Amber and Otto both carried the child together and we're talking. Like, it felt completely different from the same because in that same scene you see on the floor and everything, but there's a sequence where Amber is talking with Otto, they carry the baby, and then suddenly Otto tells Amber, run away, I'll finish the fight with that scene felt very, very forced for me. So that's my theory, because overall it felt weird that it felt really weird. Like, there are so many things that we didn't see any development in their relationship. He mentions he has a wife, and then there's nothing else again. Like, it's okay.
That was my first feeling.
You guys put it this way. Yeah.
At one point, I thought to myself, "Oh, okay, they're showing a scene of her sitting as a throne. They're
showing a scene of her in the lighthouse.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing I got. You know, but they didn't make it so bad that it's like, oh, you're only in it for 2 minutes kind of level. They did enough. So, okay, let's take the boxes, but where we can, let's. And now that Tulis mentioned about the pivoting, I think they probably did build out the Aquaman and Orm relationship to be the more of a focus.
Okay.
Than it probably was originally.
I mean, from the way I see it, it was more. I mean, I feel she was there for an adequate amount of time.
Adequate.
Yeah. Anything more would have been unnecessary. I mean, they gave her an action scene. She did the whole water tornado thing.
Bro, they gave her more than one.
They gave her more than one. She did a lot in the movie. Yeah. She did a lot.
Forget that. Forget who Amber Heard. It was somebody else. Okay.
It's her son. She should be front and center of this.
Okay. I understand if it was. I get the part. Okay, it's her son. Then she should give her like a rage moment whereby she goes then causes water to. But
and
then
compare what she did in the first movie, which was not even really,
true. But then we can. I mean, yeah, I understand that, but I don't even think they cut her. I know people say they made the cut. I think she was. I didn't feel the cut because
I think so.
Okay,
she was then.
Why would when they kidnap her son? Yeah. Why would she send Otto and to go and rescue her son?
No, I'm saying I get your logic. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense the way you said it. I'm just saying that like it's still like it didn't feel like I didn't feel like she was punitively like cut from a lot. Like she had some action.
She just existed.
Romance. She just existed.
I don't think she said much.
She had some romance.
No, she didn't. She did not say a lot.
She didn't say a lot.
Every other character had a moment. Every other character had an arc. She just existed. Like, okay, not really an arc, because even the mom that is relatively muted in the movie, you still felt an emotional moment with her when she was talking to her sons. That kids will respect your brother and all of that. Yeah, there was never any emotional moment. Maybe because she's that bad of an actor, I don't know. But there was never any emotional reaction from her to the course of the event of what was happening. She was just put in the fridge with the attack in the beginning until the end, nothing. She was never part of the main action, yeah.
But in a way, I was kind of glad because every time I saw her, I was hissing.
No, that's what I 100% agree with that. But my own is they could have either replaced that completely, and we won't have this issue, or delete her from the movie completely. Like I don't care. This measure they are doing. It's okay.
No, because if you deleted her from the movie, then the whole child thing will have to go. And then the whole it will change the dynamics of things.
She will die with the plague now. She will die with the plague now. It's not hard.
Honestly, that was probably that would have been a good call.
I mean, I understand what you mean, like today, especially I felt that in the movie, I just felt like her job was to come and deliver a message. Arthur with High Council is meeting. And she's gone. I don't mind. Personally, don't mind. But I feel like she was there. I mean, it's a different case if they didn't give her any action scene whereby she did anything.
Don't get wrong. I'm not complaining, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm even happy that it was, that
it was adequate.
That's all she got. I'm just saying that I felt that they kind of restricted it a bit. Just okay, you know what? Just do the minimal needed, and we'll shuffle you off the stage. But I'm not against what they did.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
On a technical level, I think this was the best they could have done to balance the line of reducing their presence in the movie and not angering anybody on both sides. But personally, for the wickedness, I think they should have chosen his side. Either remove her completely or go ahead with the full movie. They also do where she's the main character, front and center, and focus on her and Otto's relationship in this part and them raising the family together. Because I feel that dynamic was not explored really well. But yeah, either way. But they went the middle way, and I think that's the best they could have done with reality on the ground.
Okay. Now that makes sense. I mean, every time I saw the woman, that was when he was hissing. I mean, I was just like, this woman is fine.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, I can understand. And
your assuredness was coming out.
I couldn't even, I was like, this one is a soccer boss. I was like, I know that this woman shits on somebody's bed. But I'm still looking at her like, but she's fine, right? Like, they need to put that bed inside vibranium. Like, they need to seal her in vibranium. Eh? They use adamantium to seal it.
You see how I'm looking at you.
And then throw her inside phantom zone. Like, take that phantom zone projector, throw it inside negative zone. That girl is too fine, please. I don't want to see her again. I was like, I know she beat off this dude half of that.
This man is a lost cause.
Let's not.
No, bro. I agree with Kex on this.
Estonia. What you did?
By their words, we shall know them.
See the way his heckles were going up yesterday against Dr. Omar just because he doesn't like white women. Hey. But you guys continue on Aquaman.
I mean, come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Let's not digress.
It's Mera, it's not Agatha, so please, there are levels to this thing here. Yeah.
Even that was collecting spray.
that was totally unneeded.
Very unnecessary.
There was no need for that.
Okay. Any last comments on this one?
I just want to say I like the relationship between and
loved it.
Curry, loved it. I think Patrick Wilson, for me, was my main attraction for this film. I enjoyed him a lot in this film.
Same.
Yeah.
Even his straight man thing of
yes.
Yeah, I actually felt for home. I really felt for home. I felt it should have been King. Like this movie made it convincing.
Thank you today.
Yeah.
I saw at the end of this, Arthur would have. Am I still? Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
I thought at the end, Arthur would have abdicated and just given the throne to Orm, because when there was a part where Orm was like, you don't even know what it takes to be king. You don't know your people. You don't know the different like the politics that have to go in. And I was like, Orm is schooling this guy that I have been bred to. I know these things.
Yeah.
The only issue I had was I don't like the surface world, and I wanted to become Offshore Master so that I could fight the surface world. But okay, we've established that that's a bad idea. Like Orm was even willing to go back to prison, so there would be a war between the kingdoms, between the underwater kingdoms. I'm like, this guy clearly has a better sense of what it takes to be king. And then at the end, he's like, well, what was that saying that they kept saying to each other? That was supposed to be a metaphor, but wasn't. A good king builds bridges.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
It's not really relevant.
I think what you just said, Kex, Orm is the only character that had a full arc that actually changed and developed over the course of the movie.
Yes.
Aquaman, nope, he didn't do any changes. Like his behavior, he didn't stand confident about his behavior. If the same thing happens the next day, he will do the same thing all over again. So, in a real sense, I think Orm is the main protagonist of the story.
Yep.
If you look at it, he's the main character basically. Yeah. But one thing I liked, moving on, one thing I liked about the movie, and it's something I like about the first one, is the different locations, the different world buildings we saw. Like one thing I'll give James one, like I think Oluwole said it earlier, is a visual storyteller. His worlds, his settings are always very beautiful to watch. Even the one where the animals were bigger than him, the rat and all of that. It was beautiful. Like the various locations he shot his movie in, it's fantastic. I enjoyed every bit of that. And there is one scene I want to call out, and that's when appeared in the father's house, and you just see the red lights. That's like if the I'm going to pick James 1-4, I'll pick that scene.
Wait, say it again. Wait, which part?
The scene when Black Manta appears in the father's house to take the baby.
Yes, I remember now. It was dark.
And then you just see the red. I think that particular scene that was good. Like I really liked it. Yeah, but yes, that's my take on the movie.
Awesome, brilliant. Okay, cool. Are you guys ready to rate this one now out of 5 stars?
Yes.
Yep.
Olu, as our guests.
I'll give it a 3.
3 out of 5. Yeah. Today?
Yeah, I'll give it 3. A fitting end to this year.
All right. Today, that was sorry.
It's a 3 for me as well.
That was my exact score. It's a 3. I enjoyed it. It didn't change anything big, and I what's the box office of this movie at the moment?
So,
Tunde, you're not a stranger here. You know there's no way you're gonna escape on a high note. There's no way Kex is letting you escape on a high note. Never.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's currently at 40 million. which, for some context, that's the opening weekend over the last 4 days plus the holidays,
Domestic?
and that's domestic. I think it's 120 globally,
Yeah.
and we still have some more holidays coming up, so it should make a decent amount of money. Now, for some context where this is really bad, the Flash had 55 million domestic on their opening weekend, and we know how that ended. Aquaman 1 had 67 million domestic, and that was considered a very bad domestic. Aquaman 1 made $1 billion based on the legs it had, and unless this movie has similar legs to Aquaman 1, which I'm not sure it does, it's likely it's going to end up a flop. So yes, we'll keep on monitoring this, but it seems it's going to complete DC's reign of underperforming movies for 2023.
A whole year. Wow.
Yeah. So it's looking like a flop to be honest. But go on, sorry.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to hear Marvel and Disney that they also flopped and lost over $1 billion, but yeah, it's fine.
If you were there, extending olive branch, you slap the olive branch and put God in the person's face. That's now. we're all friends in flop this year now.
I'm not saying it so that nobody can laugh. So nobody can laugh too much. That everybody before it comes forward.
Wait, a
Why
question.
are you calling my name now?
A question though. I'm hearing in some circles that are saying GOTG is a flop. I don't know where their own math is about.
Volume 3?
Yeah.
No,
what?
By no measure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Some because they are in some circles. They are thinking. I think is that 1 billion thing is affecting a lot of people.
There's no parameter they use to call that in a flop. There's no parameter for that.
I'm actually surprised. I've not heard that narrative yet, but maybe I missed it.
I've not either.
So. I mean, there's no, like what Red said, I don't see how it could be classed as, I mean, not at all. That's not at all. It's a resounding success. Yeah, it's a brilliant film. Okay. Moving on from Aquaman. Wait, one last question I have, and this is less about Aquaman and more about Jason Momoa. I saw the interview he did with Patrick Wilson, where they were asking him how he feels about saying goodbye to the character, and he was like, "Look, I've known this character for 13 odd years now. Like he was when he was told he had to keep it secret for about 3 years after he was cast, and Zack Snyder had confirmed with him, and I just felt a little for him. I felt like this was his big break, and due to things that circumstances beyond his control, it's the whole universe has been tanked. Now, do you think there is? Now, I know we've heard that he's possibly coming back as Lobo.
Yeah,
but
no. Saffron's wife commented under a post that showed him, and I can't remember. There was a post of Momoa and somebody, and Peter Saffron's wife commented under and said, "Bring on Lobo." So it's been going around, sir. So I guess maybe.
Peter Saffron needs to stop telling his wife stuff. Is she the movie? Is she the business? Is she like, unless she's like Deborah Snyder and she's in the business, so she should just be quiet. Even if she's in the business, God save, it's not official now, madam. Why you this thing? But I want to ask, do you guys think that there's room for him in the DCU? I mean, would you like to see him again in the DCU,
Definitely.
in the MCU?
In a different role, yes.
In a different role, yes.
Yeah. I don't hate Jason.
So I'm always of the opinion that individuals are not bigger than the roles. If it's done, it's done. Just move on and let someone else do it. Go on to something else. So,
Actually.
Okay, that's fair.
So, just to clarify, put pin to the rumors that GOTG did not make a profit in this movie. GOTG made 3.4 times the production budget of the movie. Now, the general accepted metric is that you need times 2 of your budget to break even. So, if we are doing 3.4 of the movie, you are already profitable. So,
there's no parameter.
Saying that, I just want to bust anybody's bubble.
Yeah.
To be fair, this movie made almost 40% of its money domestic, so that's a good chunk of change for them already. So anybody that is saying this trash should jump inside river. That's JTG was comfortable.
No, it was the box of even the
fan reception is so positive.
The perception there was very positive. So
to be honest, though, I do think Aquaman has gotten some really negative reviews, which I think are a little unfair. I don't think it's been as bad as people have been saying as the reviews have been saying. I'm like, okay, this is a bit harsh. It's not that bad. Including some of the people that we trust and we like. Reviewers. But I'm like, okay, is it really that bad? As bad as you're saying? It's not particularly original, but it's still quite a fun romp. Sorry, today, do you want to say something? Did I mean something?
Yeah, no, to be fair to reviewers, this movie is the same as the first one and not as novel as the first one. So it's not bringing anything particularly new to the table. It's not elevating the plot. So the reception for it will be a lot less than the first one. So it's expected a bit. I expect reactions from critics, not fans, to be a bit more muted on this particular movie.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, cool. All right, moving on from DC and the DCEU. Well, not quite. We'll talk a little bit more about the DCEU in the next episode. To the MCU and What If Season 2, which we're all buzzing for. Now, we promised that we were going to review the first 5 episodes. Now, this has been dropping since the 22nd. One a day. Today's the 26th that we're recording, so we've had 5 episodes thus far. Now, I'm just going to rattle these off now. Episode 1, What If Nebula joined the Nova Corps? Episode 2, What If Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? Episode 3, What If Happy Hogan saved Chris? Episode 4, What If Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster? Episode 5, What If Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? Have we watched everything 1 to 5? That one, 1 to 5?
Yes, I'm fully up to date. All 5.
Only 1 to 5? No, not 1 to 5. Okay, today, have you watched 1 to 5?
Yes, up to date on 1 to 5.
Up to date, good. Okay, Red, 1 to 5. Have you watched all 5 episodes thus far? I'll take that as a yes because I think he said he had before. Let's mash all of this together and not necessarily go one by one, but you can talk about bits that you liked or stuff you didn't like. But what is your general feel for this season 2? That one. What's your favorite one thus far?
My favorite one is the first one for me.
What if Nebula joined the Nova Corps?
Yeah, Nova Corps. Yeah, and that's more because I think it had this very Blade Runner vibe and very sci-fi and Nova Corps. I just liked it.
Very Blade Runner. Blade Runner. Very. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
So that was my favorite. I think the next 3 were almost inconsequential, almost to me. They weren't bad, but they were okay, fine, they're good. Can be entertained for 20 minutes, but I didn't feel too much about him. I like the last one I just saw a lot more. I think it's my second favorite, episode 5, which is the Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper. So 1 and 5 are my favorites. 1 being by far my favorite. 5 I enjoyed a lot more. The other 3 I thought it was okay, but nothing too exciting, if I'm being honest.
Okay, reasonable. Olu, thoughts on the 3 you've seen?
Yeah, I think the first one is the one I like. I'm very partial to Nebula, so yeah, I'm very. It was pretty nice. I kind of liked the second one. Was okay. It just felt. I mean, Yondu featured a lot, but the first one was the one for me. Out of everything, it was predictable. Yeah, the Blade Runner one. It was predictable. Almost all of them were, but the first one just stood out for me. In terms of, I think, just a question I had to ask was Nebula's character voiced by the real?
Yes.
By the yeah.
Who?
So I think
Nebula,
that did it for me. That was all I needed to see. That whole voice sequence just did it for me.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay. What was the one that you felt least? I don't know, least interested in?
Second one.
The second one, which is the what if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't care for it at all.
Red, what was the 5? Your favorite, your general vibe on season 2? Which one do you like the least?
Okay, so I just go back. I didn't hear what that was said. I think I caught the tail end. So before I talk about the 5, I wanted to say something. I don't know if this is me. It's like, when you say that first high is always the best high and you keep chasing it.
Yes.
For some reason,
Yes.
it's not hitting me like last year's What If.
I agreed.
I don't know. It just feels so tame. I'm like, so this is the story. I mean, I know this is Die Hard. I know the themes you're going for. And I'm being honest, it's not knocking it out of the
Not
park.
just
I'm not.
no. I'll tell you something. I believe you are speaking for all of us, so we are listening rapidly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not. So I just quickly watched the Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper. That's the closest in terms of grit, action, and impact. Happy Hogan. I don't know. I watched them and I just finished and I'm like, is this it? Like I can't take anything from it. There's no excitement. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong, but that's the euphoria from last season from What If 1. I can't find it. I'm reaching. I can't find it. So maybe I don't know. I mean, we saw some previews. Maybe when I get to Odin and stuff, maybe. But for now, it's not. So to rate it, I'll say the one I just watched 5. The
5.
others,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Then the Nebula one was okay.
Okay.
But that's it.
I'm loving the fact that it feels like we might all have slightly different favorites. So yours is 5. That I think yours was first. Although I think yours was first as well. Mine is surprisingly is the if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster, because I like race stuff, death race,
Okay.
Demolition Derby, that kind of stuff. I'm really, really into stuff like that. So I like that one. But Red, I'm right there with you. It feels somehow
tame.
Yeah, tame. Because because the whole point of What If is you can take it in any direction and as far and extreme as you want.
Blank slate. Do what you want.
And I don't want them to all end on happy notes. I want us to have some in which the universe is fucked or Thanos wins and he wins.
I mean, like the zombie one from
the zombie one, exactly.
It was dire. Like it was.
And I think one thing I noticed, and I was trying to think back to the first season whether I'm correct or not. Yeah. This season is the one where all the divergent points are not really points we saw in the MCU movies. They were either well before anything we saw, or not even related to anything we saw at all.
I disagree with that.
So Karen Carter's one is the callback from the first season.
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel. It's from the last episode where they got the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, not Guardians. What do you call them? Call them Guardians of
the Guardians of the Multiverse.
All the multiverse.
The Grandmaster one is the one that I think had the closest. It was a divergence from Battle of New York. Yeah, that's the only one that really had to me. So Happy Hogan.
Okay. So Happy Hogan is. So Happy Hogan is not linked to any
It was just Die Hard.
Yeah, it was just Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Nebula joining the Nova Corps isn't linked to it's quite different.
It's before we met them. Yeah, it's before we met Nebula. In real life, in our.
No, we met her in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. She was in Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah.
And it was when Ronan got to the planet. But in Guardians of the Galaxy 1, there was no shield around the planet.
No, there was.
So actually, no, you're right. The divergence was the shield bit. You're right. Yeah, right. I agree. Yeah.
Then the Peter Quill one is also a sequel from the first season, from season 1.
No, actually, it's not.
It's not a sequel.
It's not at all.
The Peter Quill one, the divergence point is where Rondo gives Quill to the father.
Thank you very much. You're right. Thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah.
The Iron Man is from Avengers 1. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. But I want to just give my take on this and why we are feeling this kind of way about this particular show. If you look at the first season, it's like you were saying, Kirk, they took really big swings for the episodes, and they also had a lot of emotional beats in the episode. Like, for even as short as it has been, you see some very serious moments there. Like, if you remember the Doctor Strange one, that was really emotional for most people.
Oh yes,
The Killmonger one, the T'Challa becoming Star-Lord. Like, the only one that you'll call bland and happy was the Thor was an only child, and that was very funny. So that one went purely for the comedy vibes. But in this season, aside the Nebula one, which was clearly an homage to Blade Runner and Japan stock, the next three episodes did not really feel. We didn't really get that bit. Even the one that we had a completely new set of Avengers that's supposed to be really exciting. We didn't get to know these people. We didn't get to see their struggles. We didn't get to experience with them. Yeah. So we didn't really get to dig into these characters as much as the runtime would have allowed, compared to how much we are allowed to dig into characters in the previous season. So it feels a lot bland. And this is weird to be saying this, considering that this is of a higher quality than most of what we've gotten from Marvel this year. That it still feels this way in terms of quality. So I'm not sure how much they are going to do it in the later episodes, and how much they would allow us dig into these particular characters and get us to know them and actually fall in love with them. For me, the episode I like the most is where I felt this the most. The one with Iron Man crashing to Grandmaster. There were so many moments when Iron Man, Iron Man, Gamora, and what's her name? Valkyrie. They could have dug a bit deeper into that, like put them into real threatening situations, and they just, for some reason, glossed over it and allow them all work together for some reason. It could have been a lot more threatening. It could have been a lot more stakes attached to it, rather than what we are seeing in these 20 minutes. So
yes. I remember that my favorite one last year was I literally just blanked now. Sorry guys, I'm sorry. I just
Doctor
blanked.
Strange, zombies, Killmonger,
it wasn't
T'Challa.
Captain Carter.
No, definitely not Captain Carter. Oh, damn.
Okay, so I'll just list the episodes out. Captain Carter, T'Challa, the one where Ant-Man killed all the Avengers.
That is the one.
Okay,
that's the one. The world lost where the world lost all its mightiest heroes.
The one where Hank Pym kills everyone, because there was a bit of mystery to it, and there were deaths to our favorite, and there was a character who had basically gone mad, completely switched from what we knew and recognized. So I liked that, and we're not getting any of that here at all. The good guys remain the good guys. The bad guys are still the bad guys. Nobody has.
Peter Quill should have killed almost everybody in that episode. He should have started with that stupid girl.
Yeah. But I think maybe they would have been like, okay, we don't want him to kill Goliath or T'Chaka because they're black. So how do we do it? Okay, should he kill Annette Bening's character, the Kree lady, but she's a woman? So okay, should we? So where do we go? Do we kill Captain Carter? No, we don't kill Carter. So do we kill Bucky? Okay, I'm just like, do something.
I feel it was even too safe. Even in the episode that I liked, the way Ronan was killed, I was just like, seriously, you stood there and they just closed the shield on you and you just died. Like, I'm like, seriously?
I actually felt, why didn't you do that in the first place? If that works, why would you do it?
Like all that work of closing the place, opening it later, and even the whole premise of their negotiating with, I'm like, okay, how did you communicate with the guy?
Which goes back to a feeling I had that they looked for themes. I think in the first season where they looked at, let's take this point diverge. What can we come up? I think here there's more about, let's have a Die Hard episode. Let's have a Blade Runner episode.
Yes.
But they could do that. I think one thing based on everything what you just said now.
But I think they put too much effort into that. I know it's
and the stakes here just felt so unreal. So there were no stakes compared to the season.
So if you look at it, we've had Demolition Derby, homage, we've had Blade Runner homage, and we had Die Hard. Yeah, and then we've had 2 episodes which I might think are. I don't think they had anything like that personally. I thought they were more
not really,
standard. What you'd expect for what ifs.
Yeah, I mean, the Captain Carter one was basically Civil War.
The Captain Carter one is another one where we should have seen a lot of deaths. Bucky should have been killed. Like,
Bucky
I don't know
should have been killed.
whether I'm a sucker for death, and because I know deep
No, you're not a
myself
sucker
that
for it.
yeah, because I know deep down that deaths do not it automatically equal good content, but do not automatically generate tension. But I think there are some ways they could have made this episode feel more impactful, feel more stakes attached to what is happening, rather than Kata is obviously going to win, because there was no point in that episode that I felt worried.
Yeah, the thing is that in reality we look at death as a consequence, but if there are no consequences in this stuff, then it feels empty. You can't keep building tension like, oh, this guy could die, and then something happens last minute, and then for no reason at all they decide not to shoot because Bucky stands up, and then it just kind of it kills the tension, and it kills it ratchets down like the level of consequence, like what could happen, like, because nobody's gonna die. So it feels like,
because in what if, like what you're saying about consequences, in what if we already do not care about these stories? Like,
we don't exactly. We want to see
it doesn't
how
happen.
far can you push the envelope.
Go extreme, go all out.
Go extreme.
It's a what if.
Last year?
No,
sorry, Red. Go on.
No, I was saying it's what if. Just do what you want.
If this happened, we know it didn't. But what if it happened? Then what would be the logical sequence of events? Was it last year we had one that had Hawkeye and Natasha at the end of the world, or something like an apocalypse?
That's the one. That's the one with Ultron and
That's Ultron.
and Watcher and the Watcher were fighting.
Yeah, that was
like,
and they're fighting against across multiverses.
Different. And now these look fun. I still enjoy the animation. I still enjoy, the action for what it's worth.
Yeah.
It's just a little tame and safe.
Very. I mean,
I did not like episode 3 at all.
This Die Hard.
Yeah, I do not like it at all.
I would give Die Hard a 2 out of 10. I did not. I did not like that episode at all.
I was bored with it as I was watching it.
And I know it was supposed to be a comedy. I know it was supposed to be a comedy.
Yeah.
So I try not to overthink it, but I don't like Darcy. And Hogan is not much of a hero or anything else for me. And I'm like, so there are no event. Like, I know you're not supposed to overthink it, but it feels a lot like, do you remember that episode last year or 2 years ago where Captain Marvel and Thor are punching each other into other countries or something?
The party episode.
I hated the party episode. The party episode. I hated that one as well. I was like, I know.
Funny enough, I actually enjoyed that one.
I remember you did.
I actually enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But this one didn't like it. I won't lie.
One more thing I'll say, like, every single episode of season 1, or almost every episode of season 1, at the end, you get to extrapolate, we've seen this incident, how does it play out in future?
There were serious stakes in there,
Yeah, like, I could take a single episode like, what if Star-Lord was Star-Lord, and see, okay, what's the ripple effect going on forward? Like, what happens in this particular timeline? How does that play off in other characters? But in this particular season, I don't see any episode here where I'm ready to explore the ripple effect.
No, you just once you just finish it, you're like, man, you're done. You don't even want to think about it. There's nothing to think about.
Yeah. Like, Iron Man crashed into Grandmaster and he went home happy at the end of the day. There's no consequences. Like, what is that? He crashed.
I really like that because of the race sequences. I was like, okay, this like, I like the race sequences.
Some of the car tech
was very cool. Like,
this
is nice.
Speed racer-ish.
He was very, very Wachowski speed racer. Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's the holiday season that's affecting the episodes. Who knows?
No.
Do you think?
What's last year? What's last year holiday season?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't. It was before.
It was like September or October. So all in all, I'm a little disappointed. I'm enjoying them, but a little, like, give me an episode where nobody shoots, there's no action. And there's something that Duke mentioned, which I hate to admit, but he's right. They're doing a lot of hordes, either hordes of clones or robots. I mean, we had it in Peter Quill attacked Earth's Mightiest Heroes. We had it in Happy Hogan, where they were just, Iron Man robots attacking Hogan and he was killing them. We had it in Captain Carter, where there were just loads of, robots in the
in the village,
village. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, give me an episode where it's espionage, start to finish, and there's a lot of tension. Nobody gets killed. Nobody gets shot.
If I was in the writer's room, I'll put on a big, the whiteboard they have.
Yeah.
I'll put on top,
no robots.
No HUDs. No HUD. You have to come for special permission to even think of having anything like a HUD.
But with that said, I did like the fight between Natasha and the widows, and where
I loved it.
She was telling them like get your left knee. She hurt herself on the bike. Like, I did like that.
One scene
slow that they are doing.
That fight, there was no odds in that fight. It was just Natasha versus widows. When she started fighting robots, it became nonsense. But when she was fighting the widows, it was really good. Yeah,
there were some moves. Some of those widows, I was going, I like that. I like that.
I mean, to be honest, they could actually incorporate that into the movie where she's running away from them and then she jumps over a fence and then they flip over
and then slid on. When two went over, one slid on.
That scene was beautiful. It
was really cool. I was like, okay, they can do this in the movie.
That's what the Black Widow was supposed to be about.
Even the look of the back shadows when they were in the shadow, they all look kind of unique. Then we had the one with the Yoruba tribal marks.
There's something there, but
they're not willing to open that door. They get to the door and stop. Like, we're not going to.
They're not. You could do an episode you could do a what if Namor took over Wakanda, killed everyone, and then attacked the earth
and flooded it out. What
the surface world, things like that, like go crazy. But you keep
not even adding to what you're saying, not even death or destruction. You can even make it an happy episode, but make it completely extreme. Like Titana's episode was not death and destruction; it was just completely different. You can just make a completely divergent point of view. Like I'm trying to think of one, but I'm blanking out now. Like even Captain, like what if Captain Carter became president, and you play it out 40 years in the future and see how the world has changed completely from what we knew about. I don't know. It's just annoying that
there was something I wanted to ask. Do you guys feel a different way about this what if because of what came before the previous season?
No.
Because what was the last movie before what if? The first Marvel. No, not this one. Like the first season. What came out before? Last year, yes. What came out? Oh,
something like that.
No, it wasn't Love and Thunder. It wasn't Love and Thunder. It wasn't Love
and Thunder. Came out immediately after.
Yeah, I think we've had all those Eternals.
What did we have in the summer last year?
The Eternals are 2 years ago because that was my birthday.
Okay. So what did you have last year for Marvel?
What if was 2021, not 2022?
Exactly. Yes, 2 years ago.
Okay. So it was.
It came out after the Shang-Chi Eternal.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 years. It doesn't feel like that though.
I thought it was last year.
It wasn't. I keep saying last year, but I meant it was the year before.
So
just nothing. It's still the good guys are the good guys. The bad guys are still the bad guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you could do more, and you could do
definitely.
You could tell these stories.
Do more.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, these last four, if they don't up the ante, then this score, my overall score will be lower than it was definitely from last
season one.
Yeah.
I have to admit, and this did get me asking this question, and I know it seems a bit odd, but I'm like, really, what is the connection between Peggy Carter and Steve Rogers? I'm like, so much so that neither of them is able to move on. You met during the war.
You have not got on a single date, so you've not done anything yet.
Come on.
I wasn't going to mention. That's my worst thing about this come to Jesus moment. Like, I want to spend my life with you. I'm like, geez. Somebody wants to kill you and just come up with one step, and all of a sudden,
I don't want to bring my cynical old man grumpy view to this, but this is the romantic view they feed the populace and they imbibe. And then when they get into their little relationships and marriage in real life, they all get disappointed.
They expect the slow motion moments and everything.
It's all bullshit. We've all had that moment when we chase the girl, we all high and hop on it. We did it 2 days later, we can't stand her. You know.
I wasn't here.
Listen, you all know the truth. These things. All this, what's it called? My true love, my one true love in the whole world. It's all BS, but it makes good storytelling. You know, it gives people what they want or what they wish the world was like.
Yeah. And Kex, to add to just a bit of logic to this, for Carter, this was 2 weeks ago that she saw Steve last.
Oh yeah,
or
exactly.
Less than that. So it's not as if a lot of time has passed for her between then and now. It's Steve on the other hand that is still pining. And you can make the argument that he has been stuck in that particular mentality since his lost. But it doesn't make a lot of sense. But
anyway, so his perception of time is quite different. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Do we? I don't know. Should we wait until this is done and then we rate the season as a whole? Yeah, but I mean, we've given our general impressions. I don't think we should rate it.
I say let's wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna be brutal if I do it now. Let's hope there's some redeeming factor somewhere down the line.
You know, it's funny for this what if is that we are back to how we usually complain about Marvel stuff previously before they lost all sense of competency this year. Like we are not complaining about basic stuffs like we complained about Marvels, like we complained about Ant-Man that they didn't get the basic stuffs right. Is that it's not great. It's good, but it could be better.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still a better show than anything they gave that came out this year. If you ask me.
No, Guardians of the Galaxy is better. Aside Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, no, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy.
As much, I'm saying that as much as we've sat on What If today, it's still performing better than what we've gotten this year.
I agree.
Without question.
I'm trying to find Guardians of the Galaxy. Yes. Is there anything else that we could think comes close? No. Okay.
No. Okay. So if nothing else, have you guys got anything else that you wanted to cover before we?
No, I think you did say earlier on that we will be covering DCEU's and next week. Okay, in the next episode, which I think we agreed would be after the last episode of What If. So I think it's Saturday actually.
No, I don't think so. I think the last episode of What If is probably. You're right. Oh my God, today is Wednesday already. Yes. Okay. So maybe it's Saturday or something. Okay. So yes, we'll be recording a retrospective on the DCEU slate.
What day would that be?
I think we said the 30th, but we can decide offline.
Yeah.
If we stick to that or
we can also do a retrospective on Marvel releases for this year, please.
Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, we could do it. No, we could. To be fair. To be fair to
we need to look back on 2023 anyway. Best comic book stuff, worst comic book stuff.
But the DCEU deserves a send off.
Yes, it does. A funeral pyre. Yes.
So,
Olu. Well, sorry, did you want to say something?
No. I was like, when you said he deserves a send off, I'm like 10 years.
10 years, exactly.
That's
16
that's
movies,
a decade.
10 years.
10 years of hurt and pain. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yep.
9 years too long.
Honestly, all I'm going to say is and I told Kex, I was like, I'm just happy that they ended everything. All those people that were having ideas of pushing Flash or Aquaman to 2024, I'm like, there's no need. Just end it.
I want to ask something.
It's like
what if Black Adam made 1 billion?
Go forbid.
No.
What if
Black Adam
made 1 billion?
No.
I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. But things like the fact that he didn't make that money makes me feel maybe there is a God somewhere there looking out for us.
Because
no.
they cannot ignore $1 billion and the power of the Rock.
No.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
Because remember, at the beginning of the year, we asked this question also, that what if any of these 4 movies actually did really, really well? What would they do about it? And how would that be a problem for James Gunn going forward?
Yes.
So,
James Gunn and
in a
even
way, yeah, like, around the time when they announced the slate of movies, we're like, would they go over a slate if Flash made $1 billion, if Aquaman made $1 billion? Would they say they're not doing money generating IPs again because they've gone at an idea? No. So in a way, it's a blessing in disguise.
We'll be dealing with Snyder type fans on
Yeah.
steroids requesting James Gunn should resign.
No, the thing is, James Gunn now has to find a way to incorporate Black Adam. Would now need to find a way to incorporate Black Adam.
No, you're getting that wrong.
No. James Gunn would have been fired. Black Adam would take over the entire franchise. The Rock would have changed.
The Rock will be trying to figure out where James Gunn fits in his own universe.
in his own universe, yeah. He's gonna tell him like, hey, I just need
that hierarchy would have changed, and it would be
the next movie would have been Black Adam versus Superman.
Yeah.
Shazam will not exist at all.
It won't be Black Adam versus Superman. It will be Black Adam versus the Justice League after I finish with Superman.
Let me tell you, my village people, the village people of Zachary Levy, we do not agree for Black Adam. We do not agree for him. The village people of CC Beck, the creators of Captain Marvel, they did not agree for Black Adam. He disrespected Shazam.
That stuff he said, it was. I felt it was just not necessary.
It was out of order.
He said it was just like, Shazam can just go play in his own little universe. That's a full-grown man.
It was unnecessary.
So I feel like this is just off the cuff. Have you noticed that all the 17-year-old scripts have not just turned out well?
Anything that he wrote, like
just saying.
Oluwole has spent the whole podcast trying to get to talk about a particular film.
Can we focus on comic book? Can we focus on comic?
Okay, you know what? When the comic book comes out, we will talk about it then.
It's not come out in Jesus' name. It's not come out in
Jesus' name. The comic book is already out now. There's one Blood
out yet.
We will not talk about it. He can carry his comic book and his titles or whatever it's called. They can go and park in one corner.
All right,
I feel like, oh Lord.
Yes.
I think we should say our goodbyes now.
Yes.
Before Oluwole wins his battle to drag us into this discussion.
All right, guys. Thank you again for listening. The penultimate episode of Naija's Geeking Out, episode 164. Remember to rate, like, subscribe on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
What are they reading? What are they reading?
What?
What are they reading?
What are they reading?
You said read, like, subscribe. I didn't read.
Rate.
Oh,
I said rate.
Oh, okay.
I've been saying this
for
years.
This
Rate, like, subscribe. All right. And yes, today wants to say his goodbyes to today.
Yeah, goodbyes, guys. See you on the next episode where we talk about we do a burial ceremony.
Everybody are going to call me black. I'm going to wear black. Just going to bury the DCEU. Red.
Yep. What am I supposed to say? Good night.
Yes.
No. Yeah. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here next. When
you're going to be regular.
I'm going to be regular. I can't miss this one.
Okay. Fantastic. Olu,
we need to put the final nail on that coffin.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for inviting me, and this was a great time. Thank you.
Thanks for joining. That ball.
Thanks for listening as usual, and see you later.